There is a very specific type of hell for the man who's achieved pretty much everything he's ever wanted, only to realize that he feels nothing. Empty, apathetic, just never feeling full, constantly hungry, but not in a form of excitement, but in a form of deprivation. You run your business, have your career, you step into the role of that protector and provider, and you told yourself that if I just make life stable and predictable and safe, then everything's going to be great. But you cannot help yourself but feel this limitation. It's squeezing you. So if you're tired of wearing the mask and you want to take it off, I want you to lean in, because for the next few minutes, I'm going to dismantle the illusion of the perfect life. This way you can actually finally step in and reclaim your full power. Let us start with the very first thing, which is the golden handcuffs. This is the one where you almost can never complain about, because if you ever talked about it, people will say, why don't you shut the hell up? Your life looks really good from the outside. This is the high performer that, you have the car you want, you make the money that you desire, you get to buy what you need. And overall, from your peers, everything looks just fantastic, but they're not really seeing what's going on inside. And so when a high performer feels empty and numb, so for me, when I was competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I was just endlessly pursuing medals, nonstop, even if I won, it felt good, but it was just an immediate vacancy that would hit me not too long after that I had to refill. And so what do people like that do to keep things moving? Because it's hard to face the emptiness. So we decide more discipline. If I keep doing this harder and longer, then maybe that's going to fix it. Mental toughness, just absorb and just don't even look at the parts of yourself that need to be addressed. Just ignore the range of emotions except for one, which is anger and rage. The masculine loves anger and rage, and just humans in general, women too, but men really like this particular flavor because anger is a powerful fuel source. You can use it to move things along in your life. However, it comes at a very heavy price, which is just your entire health and your alignment and well-being. You will run yourself into the ground using only that source of emotion. Or we will look at it as we need bigger goals. I achieved kind of what I want. Maybe I gotta go even bigger. And there's nothing wrong with going bigger. It's just, again, understanding where this is coming from. Bigger visions. It's not enough to have, let's say, a career in X, Y, and Z. I gotta get to the top. I gotta be a CEO or whatever in order for me to feel this numbness and this apathy just vanish and go away. Or more success, more power, more money, status, all these other outside factors that have a role to play. But if that's the predominant direction and then the only thing you want to go for that you think is going to fill up your cup, it's just not going to do it and never will do it. And the way you can kind of visualize this, imagine you're a supercar. You have all the bells and whistles. The rims and the engine and the exhaust, whatever. I'm not a car guy. I'm just throwing out things that, I just know about cars in the basic sense. But imagine that's you. From the outside looking in, they're seeing something amazing. They're seeing a super fast, strong, incredibly focused individual. But they don't see what the fuel source is, where it's coming from, the script you've been running that you are now feeling imprisoned by. And this is filled with cheap, low-grade fuel. And as long as it's filled with that, then the engine is not operating at its max potential. In other words, if you are operating under a system that's worked for a little while in your life due to compensations, wounded cores, traumas, and you found a way to sort of orchestrate a balance, and it's the soul's function really, it aims to balance itself out even if overcompensating. And so if your engine is evolving, but your fuel source remains the same, that's what's going to cause you to have what? Stress, low energy, exhaustion, never feeling enough. And I'm also going to illustrate that point with another visual that's going to really help just give you a better picture of what I'm talking about. Here's the illustration. First, I want you to start all the way on the left, and I want you to look at this box. This represents the script that we all live by. The script can be the protector, and whatever that comprises. It could be someone who makes a lot of money, who stands up for people who are not capable of standing up for themselves. The provider, the good man, the warrior. It's almost pretty much an archetype that we step into due to cultural pressures, societal pressures, norms, and all these other things that we filter. Our brain does it all for us. And then based on our background, based on our history, our trauma, and all those other things, determines how each one of them manifests. And you are on the inside of it. Now, when you first kind of step into this could be going into your teens, early 20s, mid 20s, you feel like you have a lot of room to grow. It feels good. I like being the protector. I'm lifting weights, I'm training combat sports, or I'm starting to make money. You're feeling pretty good. But what ends up happening over the long run, with enough time, you're beginning to grow. But as you begin to grow, the script does not change. It can't change because it was structured for a very particular reason. And this is when you begin to grow, the script remains the same, which then also is seasoned as well. There's different seasons of your life. When you're in your teens, when you're in your 20s, me now hitting my 30s, you can feel it. There's just different seasons, different things that matter to you as you get older. And as you have enough time with different seasons of your life, you continue to grow, and you can actually begin to feel the compression, the suffocation, certain parts of yourself that haven't lived, that perhaps you've had fantasies about. Let's say you're always one to never be romantic. You always thought that just wasn't you because of the way life has unfolded. And it's not often by accident, okay? The things that happen in our lives are just dictated most often by the unintegrated, unaware complexes and traumas and pains and loop patterns that live behind the scenes. That's why as you reveal more to yourself, things really begin to shift. You can almost feel a universal effect, like a wave coming at you. But that's when you begin to feel excess stress, pressure, your soul's longing to live fully. You can hold up a script for a certain amount of time, but as that box starts to squeeze you, your soul does not care at all about what you think of yourself, what society thinks of you, what you deem important, not important. It doesn't care. All it cares about is to express. Inside my framework for the sovereign integration system, which by the waitlist down below for the free community launching on July 11th, I talk about how inside my approach that the soul, its main objective is to express. It wants to live. It wants to allow you to integrate and get to a state of individuation that then allows you to encapsulate as much of your potential as possible in this lifetime. The issue is we as men and people inhabit predominantly the head and the heart. We just use the tactics of the mind, or we just use the approach of the heart using love, using anger, using all these different things. We very rarely use the soul simply because it is so confrontational when it comes your way. When you feel that wind coming and you're going, oh man, things are about to change, it's very, very scary. And that's when the awakening begins to happen. As you begin to awaken to what's going on, you are continually expanding as that script is now absolutely suffocating you. And what's really incredible is that now you have a choice. You have a choice between ego death or implosion. If you wait long enough, this urge to make changes and to allow that ego to die, the identity to die, that way you can step into now a larger frame, will pass if you wait long enough. But the effects of missing this moment do not go away. Bitterness, resentment, the unlived life fantasies will get really wild. You'll start maybe feeling a lot of regret about your life and everything. Your energy levels will deplete more and more and more, therefore needing other means to satisfy yourself through the avenue of drugs, meaningless sex, alcohol, gambling, you name it. There needs to be a way to compensate. So as this moment approaches you, and maybe right now as you're watching, you're feeling this absolute box squeeze and you're knowing there's really no, like that can't go back anymore. If you can't go back anymore, I highly recommend you move forward in this direction. Because although the identity death is absolutely miserable and it sucks, the worst you can really feel is discomfort. And that's what I want to put on the board. It is just simply incredibly uncomfortable when this process of death is approaching. You'll feel pain, you'll feel anger, you'll feel confused. You'll feel you don't know what's to come. What am I going to do? Who am I going to be now? The person I thought I was for so long is just dying right in front of me. But understand that you are not dying like literally. All that's happening is whatever you've been in that's confined you now is being shattered. That box explodes and you expand into the new place. Of course, we're going to establish new scripts, but you're wiser now. You understand how you were limited. You know the angles of yourself a lot better in the dimensions and the shadows, your likes and dislikes, the evil parts of you, the good parts of you. I don't often like to always look at things from like a good and bad lens, evil, good, but it's just a way to simplify the language. But what's happening is just the death of a script, the death of a routine, fantasies, expectations. All these things are what you're hurting. It just slowly has to wash through you. And something to write down that you can keep with you to remind you of this is success without alignment of not just your head and heart, but your soul, allowing the soul connected to the universe, connected to God, to function with you, to guide you forward, to allow you to balance yourself without overcompensation. So soul, heart, and mind, when aligned, success without alignment is just a highly polished and bedazzled coffin. Thank you very much. And do not forget, down below, I got that waitlist for the Sovereign Brotherhood community. This is an environment where I'm not just only giving away my full sovereign integration system for free, but also a place where men can come together and we can work on all these things. Our shadows, the parts of ourselves we haven't integrated, the calling of change that's coming, and how do we approach it? What are the tools that I can use to navigate through it? Ultimately leading into a more individuated life, an integrated life, where you're not feeling these parts of yourself that want to live be suppressed and actually step into a life more full and bright and exciting. And it makes things a lot easier when you have a group and someone who's gone through this. I've gone through this multiple times. I've coached people through it multiple times, and it works really, really well. And that's why I'm not only offering the integration system for free, but the community for free as well. You can join. And every Sunday we meet together. It's led by me, and we will work through this. So join the waitlist, get early access before July 11th. I'll see you guys on the next video.